All right, ladies and gentlemen, spotting up here in the top left-hand corner, it is our blue Terran player, IG Casper.
Dun, dun, dun. I automatically want to think that he's from the Chinese team Invictus Gaming. I don't know about that, but his opponent down, excuse me, wow, in the bottom left-hand corner, this is going to be our teal Protoss player DraGon that we just got done seeing take out Eon Zerg, player who is, very, outspoken in the community. Definitely a player I learned a lot from, watching not only today but previously. Very good player, and DraGon took him out, so now he has to take on IG Casper, a player who I believe was ranked C+ in the lobby, if I remember correctly. We actually just double-checked this, but probably actually much higher than that.
Yeah, you never know with Icy Cup because you can always just like clear your stats and just be
no,
like...
No, he's A-.
Oh, he's A-.
So...
Oh, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, A- is in fact fairly good, guys. In case you were wondering, that is a good letter to have as your rank in Icy Cup. So yeah, Casper pretty good, and it's gonna be exciting to see what he can bring out as a Terran player against Protoss here on Fighting Spirit.
Yeah, so far we're not really seeing too crazy of an opener from either of these players. We're seeing the immediate gateway, pylon, blah 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 blah, and assimilator. So we're gonna probably just see some pretty good, like just 1 to 2 gate play coming out here from DraGon. We're not gonna be, I don't think, anything too crazy just yet. No proxy pylons. Meanwhile, we're seeing Casper go for the refinery and barracks, so just going to be a standard, probably FE opener after getting his first factory.
Yeah, so something that's a little bit interesting about Protoss versus Terran, especially since they're cross positions now, and we know that, but they don't.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how players sort of guess their way through the early game, because especially on 4-player maps, and this was a heated discussion for a while when it came to balancing maps, because maps were the way that you balanced a game that was never patched. Is that when you have 4-player maps, how heavily do you punish somebody who scouts their opponent last?
Right.
Because if you do scout the wrong way around the map and you're close positions and you don't realize it, then you can actually just you'll die to a rush every time. And if you aren't getting rushed, then you'll set yourself behind defending against that. So a lot of players will scout both close positions before they scout the far position, because they know, hey, at least if they're far away, I'll have more time to deal with what's coming my way.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about what both these players are thinking about, because I don't know how many times they played each other, but it's always really scary to go into a tournament when you're playing against somebody you don't know what their style is at all, especially when you know that they're a really good player. Like, knowing that Casper is an A-, you have to understand that whatever they're going to do it pretty darn well, and they might do it better than you. So seeing that first Zealot walk in, these Marines now just have to immediately pull back or take a couple of Zealot side blades to the face. And that's like that immediate scary thing, is that Zealot being able to get into the base before anything else, and especially without having any good Zealot-type walls here.
Yeah, that's actually something good to point out, Shamtu, is that there aren't any walls here that Marines can pass through that Zealots can. So he's doing a good job microing around the building itself, so this one Zealot probably will not do it too much. Now, the Dragoon follow-up, though, is a little bit scary, because even with this Vulture out, okay, no, not if you move the Dragoon that far forward, but microing against Marines is something that Dragoons are really good at doing. He's actually not microing the Dragoon at all, and now he's going to lose it, so that's a little rough.
Well, so actually losing that one Dragoon for taking out all those Marines and getting some damage on the Vulture is probably really good. If there was going to be an FD push coming out from Casper, that would actually deny so much of what the Terran needs in order to actually get that FD push going, which is those Marines. They soak up a lot of damage. So getting all those Marines out before there's the possibility of the tank even being out on the map is actually really good here for DraGon. So that's probably why he was just like, I'm going to get as much damage as possible, because I know this Vulture is going to be able to chase me down anyway.
Yeah, and because I know I saw a couple of new viewers who are new to Brood War in the chat. Just going to clarify that what Shamtu is talking about is that there's this build where you can fake like you're going to be building a lot more, or fake like you're going to be building 2 factories in your base. Instead, you only build 1. That's what we're seeing this time around. But if he had 2 factories in his base, then he's obviously going to go for this big bust of units. And if you kill off a little bit at a time, it really weakens that kind of push. Now, that's not what's going on right now, but now DraGon probably knows that, and even though he did sacrifice a Dragoon for it, he was able to limit this, and now we're going to see him move into a Dragoon, push through here onto the tank, trying to dive deep and snipe it off. One more volley would take it out, but he's safe on the high ground.
Yeah, the high ground advantage so good for tanks, and getting a couple of these spider mines out here as well. Gonna be able to get denied from the Dragoons. The Dragoons are able to snipe those before they actually go down. They are not spawned out cloaked. Also gonna throw the Dragoons under the command center. That's cheeky.
So he is actually going to be able to... Oh, no, he didn't kill the tank. No, he lost all 3 Dragoons and didn't kill that tank. That's terrible. Oh, my God.
Ooh, and loses the Dragoon in the middle as well. But, I mean, behind this isn't actually that awful here for DraGon, because this still makes Casper still want to stay in the base. There's nothing that DraGon can really use to push out across the map, still only on a single factory. But this also keys for Casper to immediately say, hey, he's been spending all of his Dragoons in, so I'm just going to grab another command center because there's going to be no Dragoons to stop that from happening.
Wow. Yeah, and that's the, even though Casper, or not Casper, but DraGon's not going to lose the game right now, he is going to lose all pressure out on the map, and giving a Terran a safe timing in the early game to take a 3rd base. Oh my God, that's actually so rough, because I mean Terran really only needs 3 bases. I've seen 3 base Flash beat an infinity base every other race, because he's just able to the amount of minerals and gas that you can get from 3 bases as a Terran is just everything that you could possibly need. And if you do get that big Terran death ball, Protoss, aside from things like stasis and recall, both of which come from the Arbiter, they just don't. Siege tanks are so good against everything that Protoss has that it's really difficult to deal with that.
Right, and at this point, the Terran can choose a couple of things, right? Like, getting 3 bases already basically secures that the Terran can get into the late game if they really wanted to. They can go for 2-1 on their mech in order to get, like, they pop out an armory, they get the +1 weapons upgrade, they get the science facility out, they get another armory, and then they get +1 armor, +2 weapons, and that's basically like an impossible to beat Terran army for Protoss.
Yep.
If the Terran plays it correctly. Granted, they're cross positioned, so this actually becomes a little bit difficult to move out across the map because you have to be very careful about how Terran moves across versus a Protoss. If you get like swarmed, you're basically dead. But getting 3 bases before the Protoss has a 3rd base, Protoss always wants to be a base up on Terran. So the fact that the Protoss is struggling to get that 3rd base and Terran's already has one, this is going to be a really difficult game for DraGon to come back with.
Now, if I was, DraGon, I would actually try to go take a 4th right now. Because what you want to have as a Protoss, like you said, you always want to be a base up, but it's about the positioning of that base too. So you usually want to go take another main out there on the map. So that would be, either one of the upper right or lower left corners, because that allows you to have another base where not only you can mine from, but you can also build gateways there. And then when you produce units from those gateways, they're produced in a position which is flanking what would be a big Terran push out through the middle. So you want to get out there and position your units and your production facilities in ways that you can deal with what is inevitably going to be a big Terran push out on the map.
But still, I mean, we could see already DraGon. Ooh, DraGon. He knows he's behind. He knows there's not really much of a opportunity here for him to kind of catch up and get back into this game. So he's going for a giant bust. No, maybe not.
He just finished his Arbiter Tribunal too, so either he's going to try to go in here and dive deep in on these tanks, and wow, he is actually going to be able to take that down. There's not a lot here to defend. Usually you need vultures here, but there aren't any vultures. Now, if he had gotten on top of those tanks before they sieged there in the back, then that would be one way to do it, but instead he's actually just going to dive in, and now, oh man, he's trying to see if there is in fact that, no, he didn't take out the missile turret.
Oh my god, this is such a back and forth like engagement, but I think in the end this is going to destroy so much of what Casper's been building up right now.
Oh, the missile turret. If he had killed the missile turret, there's no detection. I mean, there are scans, but he might just not have noticed that Dark Templar at all.
Yeah, it's hard like in
God.
the middle of a fight to hear that little like that Dark Templar swoosh sometimes. So, if you didn't notice there was a Dark Templar, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, you have to go back, grab your scan or your I forget what those are actually called. The ComSat station. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Been a while since I've said that word. You have to go back, grab your ComSat station, and then scan. And sometimes in the course of a chaotic battle, it just really throws you off if you don't have that hotkey. But wow, that dive is not going to work, and now that is going to make this push out through the middle of the map very difficult to hold.
Actually, this is not so bad here for Protoss. There's a lot of mines out here, but oh, those mines! He's going to drag him forward to the tanks, but it doesn't actually hit him.
Now it's pretty bad for Protoss.
Yeah, well, okay. The Dragoon's just going to go into melee range. You know, he just needs a lot more Zealots, I think. Like, that was a very tank-heavy army. The best way to counter tanks as a Protoss is to make a lot of Zealots, but at the same time, Dragoons are really healthy. And I'm not going to sit here and say what DraGon should be doing, because DraGon's a lot better of a player than I am. But meanwhile, a lot of tanks and vultures now moving on into the natural base here of DraGon. Tanks are sieging up, being able to take out those pylons, and there's the GG. DraGon losing game number 1.
GG, a great performance there, not only on the defense, defending a couple of those dive attempts by the Dragoons, but you know, DraGon definitely did have a plan there towards the end. He's like, all right, let me just go for this bust. But what was confusing is that he also built an Arbiter Tribunal. Like, if you're going to go for a bust, you build like 13 gateways and just macro out an insanity amount of Dragoons and then go for the bust with some Zealots in front. You don't try to like tech and expand and get yourself back into the game and then decide you have to bust the guy. That's not how the game works, sorry.
Yeah, that's a really difficult decision. Made up the next lobby, it's all 4-1s. Is one thing that I've been beaten into my head a number of times is, in Brood War, in a lot of ways, you can do one thing and one thing only. You can expand, or you can attack. Like, you can push in and try and kill your opponent, or you can decide to do something else. Like, you can tech up, or you can expand, or you can attack. You can't do all three of those things at once. That just stretches you way too thin. Now, I think that DraGon had a really good chance of actually being able to break that natural and doing a lot of damage and stopping the Terran from being able to do too much. Unfortunately, it just didn't go so well.
All right,
You dropped again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll have you host, I guess. Wait, did I host last game or did you?
I did.
You did? Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
So that was just I think that was just a really odd call from DraGon. I think the beginning of the game it's really odd, the beginning of the game as well, because there was a lot of kind of Dragoons just kind of filtering in. It might have been lag. Lag is always a really difficult thing, and I've been hearing that the servers have not been doing so well as of the past couple of days.
Well, okay, so lag is one thing, and that affects unit control. But the other thing is, like, usually as a Protoss, you're one of the biggest units you want to produce are Zealots to go in and tank hits.
Yeah.
But it was just like 100% Dragoons. I don't think I even saw too many Zealots that game. So, yeah, that was really really weird. All right, let me go ahead and create this map.
Sure. Sorry, guys, we have some problems with hosting maps lately.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, they've actually been pretty good recently. So
they have been.
Here we go. I'm going to host game number 2. It should be up now.
I can't spell Matcherino, apparently. Or the Matcherino thing isn't going to work now.
Hold on, let me try it again.
Oh, there it is. It was just lagging a little bit.
I was just taking a little bit of a bot break. All right. Yeah, so
ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already, please go to Matcherino. Type in Filthy BW1 to donate $1 for free to the prize pool of this tournament. The prize pool is currently $100. We try to make up to $100 in those. If not, then we make Filthy Rake pay for it, because we're going to build a tournament and make Filthy Rake pay for it, apparently.
That's the way it works, man. It's the American way. All right, let's go ahead and get into game number 2 of DraGon versus... I just looked and saw Sham 2, and I'm like... Okay,
DraGon.
Well,
DraGon versus... oh, my God. Casper, that's it.
Casper, yeah, Casper.
We're so good
All
at
right,
our
let's
jobs.
go ahead and introduce our players. This on the map, Neo Jade, spawning in the upper right-hand corner as our yellow Terran player. This is IG Casper.
And spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner, the orange Protoss player. Down a game currently, it is DraGon from Team P.
All right, so back on the map, Neo Jade. So this is your low ground main. You go up into high ground natural. Relatively difficult wall offs if you want to fast expand here, but not quite as difficult as other maps that we've seen in this map pool. This is by far, I think, the weirdest map for me in this map pool. So definitely not an expert at playing on this. I have many bad memories because sometimes there are ways you have very large mains. So you can actually do a lot of shenanigans there.
And what's really good for Protoss on this map is like just any kind of heavy aggression Dragoon openings. It kind of forces Terran to be on a one base style, actually, for the very beginning parts of the game. If the Terran doesn't get the ability to get that 1-Rax FE, which is the 1-Rax fast expand, which allows him to kind of just grab that natural position as well as put a bunker up there and kind of really hole up there. If they go for any type of like one factory fast expand, they have just given up the ability of having that natural expansion anytime soon if the Protoss goes for something like a 2-gate Dragoon range build, because the Dragoons just like sit up on top and they're just like, hey, do you want to come up here? Stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. Like that's all they do.
All right, so it does look like with this barracks being built, okay, I gotta figure out a better way to say it. With the barracks being built out by the ramp, that we should be seeing an expansion in the near future here for the Terran player. Sometimes as Terran, you want to just build a, you can go for BBS if you want to just like super insane rush the guy, or you go command center first and you're just like, well, I really hope he just doesn't find my base ever. So this is going to be sort of the middle of the road Terran build where you do get the barracks and then go for command center afterwards. So nothing super all in either the economic or the aggressive direction for either player. Although now, whoa, second gateway on the way. Could see some from the Protoss.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a 2-gate Dragoon opener, but that's actually not so great if the Terran actually defends and gets that one bunker up and is actually able to kind of like hold that natural, because that puts the Terran way ahead. Well, not way ahead, but ahead. And you always want to be ahead. And the way you do that is you build a face and then you defense it. And the way you do that, you get that one bunker out, you put a couple Marines in there. The Dragoons are able to outrange that bunker, but the great thing is that you could just kind of repair bunkers because Terran is OP. So as long as the Protoss doesn't actually know about this bunker expand and continues to go into many, many Dragoons, this is going to be really difficult for them to kind of catch up and get any expansions up.
All right, so that does mean that we're going to have our scouting, or the first Dragoon out on the map right now. Bunker is now being constructed, and the Dragoon is decently far away, so we really shouldn't see anything super dangerous right now. The bunker's going to come up. It's only going to have one Marine in it, but that doesn't really matter because the bunker shouldn't actually be getting to fire at all. The Dragoon is actually going to scout the wrong base because we didn't see a probe scout earlier. Yikes. So that's going to be a little bit awkward, but when he does eventually get over there, exactly like you said, Sham, too, we're going to see Dragoons get the range upgrade, start attacking the bunker, and then eventually either try to dive and pick off SCVs through repairing it, or pull back as the Terran goes towards siege mode.
Is this when we make the really bad Dragoon pathing joke where it's like he actually did click on the top right, but the Dragoon just decided to go all the way to the top left because Dragoons?
I believe it, man. You click somewhere on the map for the Dragoon, it's like a random number generator. It's like, oh, I think I'm going to go there. And yeah, sometimes that is unfortunately not super great.
Ooh, Dragoon walking into the range of the bunker. We do not have range finishing up just yet, but he got the gateway before he even got the range on the way, before he even started getting, before the Cyber Core was even finished up, which means that he definitely wants to go for a lot of Dragoons here. And ooh, that Dragoon taking a little bit of hull damage there.
All right, now only 2 SCVs. So the rule of thumb is that you always want at least one more SCV repairing. But because he built this bunker right next to a supply depot, he can't actually have the amount of SCVs repairing that he needs to, with them all being protected by this bunker. Now that Dragoon range is being, it's weird to see this bunker keep catching on fire and then instantly being put out.
Those SCVs just all have fire extinguishers on hand.
Okay, so he doesn't have enough SCVs. He's gonna lose this bunker and lose the game. Oh my god.
Ooh, so close!
Oh my god, this bunker health, it's down below 100. He needs to pull way more SCVs to try to surround this and keep the reparations on. But in the meantime, this all costs money. And finally, even with that tank out, I don't even think that's going to be enough to defend this. So many Dragoons up at the front. You need, I think, 6 Dragoons to one-shot, to get in there and one-shot, or two-shot a tank. So if he wants to go
but the
dive...
tank is about to go for the siege mode. He's going in for the push. Is he going to be able to bust it? That's the question here. Siege tank doing a lot of damage, but there's 4 Marines in there. He's losing all the Dragoons, and he's not able to bust it.
Yikes. Instant GG there from DraGon. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. I think he was trying to get behind the bunker before the siege tank sieged, and then he tried to get out of there, but oh man, a little bit awkward there. Siege mode's a good thing, and siege tanks are as well. So
yeah.
GG, that's going to do it. Casper taking a 2-0 over